Cancer. Welcome to your October 2023 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here, and you can see that I have this light to one side, so it's kind of a weird setup. It's not a ring light, that's for sure. So, if you're wondering what that's all about, that's all I can tell you. But I like filming during the day because then I don't even turn on the light a lot of times. And that natural light is really powerful. It actually, to me, looks so much better than when it's nighttime. But, oh well, it is what it is. So let's look at October. It's interesting that I got the wheel and the Wheel of Fortune and the World card, because sometimes I get them confused. Oh, the Moon card. Wow. That's your card. I mean, you're ruled by the moon, but in astrology, not in the tarot. The tarot, the moon card is actually connected to fellow water sign Pisces. So there you go. So, it's funny because it seems like I can't get very far away from relationship issues. I used to do love readings so much, and now I rarely do them because in the regular readings, it seems like it comes out so much. In the past position, I mean, I was going to say, because I was thinking of this card, I'll bring this out. The heart of the matter, or the focus of this reading, is the World card, which is really about the finality of something in your life. So it can be a cycle that is coming to an end. It can be, a cycle can be anything. It can be like a marriage. It can be graduating college, or, retiring. Something that is ending. And so there's naturally going to be a new phase after that. And the World card can also be travel, long distance travel. So that's a possibility as well. I'm trying to think astrologically if there's anything going on with, well, I'll tell you what is happening is that in October, astrologically, is that with your opposite sign Capricorn, because I think of that seventh house of committed partnership. And Pluto goes direct there on October 10th. So Pluto has been retrograding in the sign of Capricorn. I don't know exactly when it went back into it because it was at 0 degrees of Aquarius back on May 1st when it retrograded, and then eventually it went back into, I think in June, it went back into Capricorn, or maybe July. And now it is going direct in Capricorn. So any kind of relationship issue has been affected by, or has been, I would say, affected by the fact that it has been in that sign again, which it was there for 15 years. But then on top of that, you have the situation of when it's retrograding, it's like you're doing that soul searching and looking at your piece in that, whatever has gone on. And that's actually a good thing. But that can lead you to say, yeah, it is over. Now, another area that this can occur is for any kind of lawsuit, because the seventh house can be legal matters. In the past position here, we have the King of Wands. And this is the card of, I would call it like the alpha male. It's actually I think it is connected to Sag. This is like another card that I think is connected to Sag, but it shows Leo's mascot or symbol. I could be wrong about that. I know the Knight of Wands is connected to Sag, so maybe the King of Wands is connected to Leo. I definitely think of royalty as the kings and queens as being Leo energy. But anyway, this is the divine masculine. That's how I would characterize it, meaning that, you probably heard the term toxic masculinity. Um, the type of, and this is for men and women, it has nothing to do with gender. It has to do with being overly aggressive, being insensitive, um, those kinds of traits. But the divine masculine is stepping into your own power and being self motivated and wanting autonomy. When Cancer is balanced, you are able to love other people without losing yourself. But it's a very fine line. It's to have to walk that line is very difficult for all of us, because obviously it's very easy to get sucked into somebody else's energetic field and their problems, quite frankly. So that's where codependency can come in. So what this 1-2 punch of the King of Wands and the World say to me is more about you than someone else. So it says to me that you may have been going through something in your life which has led you to step into your power, and so now you're not willing to tolerate what you were willing to tolerate before. So when I say stepping into your power, that's kind of what Pluto is all about, is power, but our own power, meaning not that we're trying to control somebody else, but we're really getting to know ourselves and know what our motivations are, so that we're able to alter them, and we're able to change course, and we're able to stop ourselves in our tracks, in our own tracks, when we're losing ourselves in another person, for instance. So these kinds of themes may have been playing themselves out recently, and now you're starting to see that you're actually more powerful than you give yourself credit for. And the other thing that this could be is a male who is more mature, maybe chronologically older than you, but definitely more mature and self-actualized. Somebody who may be very ambitious, but not in a toxic way, but really going after what they want. They're following their bliss. And this person may even be like a life coach, I would say. I could definitely see somebody, if you have been consulting with somebody like that, that person can inspire you to change something major in your life, and you can let it go. So that could be what the World is. Not that you necessarily have right now, but that you're planning to. So if you have been like, I really want to retire, but I'm afraid that I'm going to be facing this void just by retiring, or I really want to get divorced, but I'm not sure, all of those things. You may have been working with somebody who's helping you to become more independent. So that's a possibility as well. And of course, there's always like a love possibility with this card. I would say all the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And actually, Aries is a sign that forms a square with Cancer. And even though the square is a hard angle, I've read that it has this kind of physical attraction that the person can have for that other individual, because even though there's like an irritation because they're like rubbing up against, well, I not the good kind of rubbing up against each other, but the one that's chafing, that's very irritating. The higher message is the wheel, which is shortened from the Wheel of Fortune. I don't know exactly why they do that. This is the light seers tarot deck. I what I would say why they probably do it is because they want to emphasize the cycles with the wheel rather than, it's called the Wheel of Fortune in the Rider Waite deck and a lot of decks that I've seen. And people can just think about luck, and I like to see it as alignment. And when alignment occurs, I feel like there are patterns, there are cycles. Sometimes, you may think, oh, I think I want to be in a relationship, and it really is not a good time for it because you might be getting over another relationship where you're really focused on some goal, career goal, or personal goal, and you feel like you don't have enough time to give, but you know just want it because it's kind of force of habit. So the wheel is more about understanding what the cycles mean. The person is on the top of that wheel because sometimes we are on the top of the world, and then sometimes it feels like we're just kind of coming up for air. And when everything is going your way, it's easy to feel like, hey, I really have it going on. But those are the times to really kind of be mindful of that saying, what comes up must come down. And I don't mean that, it has to be bad, but just not being attached to anything that is currently in your reality, because you know that things are always changing and we can just appreciate them, and that can make it flow easier. I think that as a higher message, um, what it really means is this really speaking about that world card, about like, you know, sometimes, that there are different seasons in life. And so Cancer's a very sentimental sign, so it's very easy to lament, the ending of a relationship, for instance. But the problem is, it's if you really analyze it, you may come to the conclusion that it had run its course in some way. Even if you have a family with that person, even if you have children, maybe they're all in college now or something, and you feel like, hey, now I don't have to keep it all together. I can allow, or maybe you feel like you just want to explore your own interests now that you're not having to be in that very intense position as a parent where you feel like you can just kind of be more of an individual. What crosses you is the Knight of Cups, and that is the person who is the knight in shining armor. But it's funny, it looks like, sometimes I think that's a unicorn in the background, but it isn't. I don't see a horn. But anyway, why is that showing up? Well, there might be someone who has kind of come into the picture, and in some cases this may be the motivating factor for wanting to end a long-term relationship or a very like a committed relationship. And the I'll just say this. I'm not saying that this is going to be true for everyone, but if there is someone waiting in the wings, or if you've met someone and they have presented themselves like the Knight of Cups, like flowers and poetry and everything like that, and they're very they're coming on very strong like that, that is like a huge red flag. I hate to say it, and I'm not saying that everybody who does that would be a con artist, but I do feel that people that need to present themselves almost in the stereotypical fashion of like what a perfect partner would be like, that those types of people can be very deceptive, that they're trying to hook somebody in. And one of the other red flags is if they're kind of pushy, they want to move the relationship along, even have a relationship when you've only just met them and stuff like that. That can be a huge red flag. And if you're emotionally vulnerable, you might fall for it hook, line, and sinker. So you have to be careful because a an authentic person isn't putting on an act. And people who put on acts, they sometimes I would say that they don't really know how to behave in a normal way. It's almost like they're taking their ideas from some kind of a Harlequin romance or something. They're not really being themselves. So if somebody's being phony, what is their true self? Well, you might find out, and you might learn that the hard way, if they convince you after a few months to move in with them, to get married, to do all these things where they, can have greater access to you. So that's why I think it really is um, more prudent to be old fashioned about when you're dating and to really get to know somebody deeply. Take it slowly. And I bet that that's in the minority these days. So, what's coming in is the Moon card. There may be something that's deceptive in your environment. And being a Cancer, you may even feel this. You may even sense that something isn't quite right. You may be lied to, or you may be given half truths, which are like the truth sprinkled in, but the lie is at the core of what the person is saying. And also, you could be deceiving yourself about someone. So be careful, especially if this Knight of Cups is somebody. Knights can be younger than kings. So this kind of person, the Knight of Cups in reverse, I'm reading it as a reverse card, even though I don't think I pulled it as a reverse card, but it's in the challenge position. So this kind of person can be very manipulative, and they can even have an addiction. And so you have to be careful if you're coming off of a divorce, and that's what the World card represents, or like a major breakup. You have to tend to your feelings, Cancer. You can't be thinking that you're okay just because you're functioning. You need time to heal. Even if you were the one who initiated the divorce, you still need time to heal and to process, all of the experiences that you've had with that person, to be able to, put it in its rightful place. That's what really processing means to me, is that a person is able to look back on a certain relationship and they don't immediately start to think of negative things. They're able to look at the relationship in a more realistic way, so that if they were with somebody who was chronically unfaithful, rather than just like think of that person as a cheater, they think about the time, maybe they think about their own place where they were at emotionally. And they're kind of like, they're not really in the mode of blaming. They're just kind of, seeing things as they were in a kind of a dispassionate way. So the thing about the Moon card is that sometimes a person doesn't want to see things as they are because it feels very painful for some reason. Maybe, in terms of an unfaithful partner, it's the feeling that they don't measure up, that they're not good enough, they're inadequate, that it's, something that makes them feel that their marriage is totally destroyed. And they know it. They know that it's destroyed, but they just can't bear to take it to the next level of getting divorced. Well, the World card suggests that that cycle is ending, just at least seeing it. Maybe you're not ready to do anything more than that. But keep in mind, if you stay in a relationship with someone and they are cheating, or if they have a a substance abuse problem, and you just feel constantly abandoned by them because they're just zoning out on their substance of choice, that's going to take a little piece of you all the time. And so you have to, decide whether ending the relationship is more painful than the death by 1,000 cuts, that kind of thing. The outcome is the Ace of Swords, and this is a card you can see if you know anything about the third eye, the pineal gland. This is kind of alluding to that, I would say. And that's the kind of understanding that transcends mundane knowledge. We can know something because it's in a book, or even things that we observe on the physical level. But intuition or cosmic insight, that's something different because it's employing wisdom. It's not just looking at the facts on a third dimensional level. And this is, like, in general, I would say that this Ace of Swords is, being able to start something in your life because you have seen what is going on in your life in perhaps a new way, but with clarity of mind. The Moon card can indicate a muddled thinking, that the person is, not thinking clearly, that they're confused about something. The Ace of Swords is that mental clarity. And to me, it can be like an aha moment where suddenly you see, okay, this is what is happening, and you're able to just kind of, it's like kind of the first step in being able to maybe in some cases remove yourself from a situation or start a situation. Okay, that's what I have for you, Cancer. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double astrology reading called my Deep Dive reading, an hour of natal chart analysis and an hour of transits for the upcoming 12 months for a special price. And I have a package deal with those two readings and the tarot called the Whole Enchilada. And I have other readings as well. You can find out more information at the link below. Thanks for watching. Bye.